Hey guys, today we're on the public test server for patch 7.0, which officially releases on April 15th. We are here to talk about the prestige perk rework for heavy, because I know I shit on Saber the other day for like some of their balance decisions in this game, but they did listen to people here on the heavy melee perks, and they changed some of these prestige perks to be far more useful for all builds. So I think they did a good job here. A lot of these are actually really good. This actually has some of the best prestige perks, and there's some real choices to make here. But we're going to go through them one by one. Some of these didn't get changed, but number one, reverberating impact. Stomp area of effect radius increases by 50%. This is good for melee builds. This used to be an increased charge attack damage on your stomp attack, but like that was always terrible, so I'm glad they reworked this to just be a radius increase, because radius on your stomp is really all you need for the most part, and you're pretty much always going to take this with exponential force for increased melee damage by 100%. So if you're going for a melee build, this is pretty good. Now, auxiliary reload, melee kills of extremis level or higher enemies restore your primary weapon's ammo by 1 magazine. This did not get changed at all, but this was always good. This pretty much just gets rid of one of the main limiting factors of your class, which is ammo. Like really all that's holding back the heavy is his ammo and balanced parry window, and anything that fixes those is going to be pretty top tier. So auxiliary reload, very good perk. Conviction, when your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. This is a deceptively good perk. This is always a good perk. I just like taking this on a lot of classes. Some classes have these in their actual core perk tree, but it as a prestige perk, pretty good. I would usually take this. Now, exponential force, melee damage increases by 100%. This is just, straight up melee damage, also good. Like, damage increase is damage increase. I don't know if you want to take this as much as you might want to take the radius increase, because usually if you're stomping on bugs, you're not stomping on like a Majora's guy, you're stomping on the tiny Minoris dudes. So that like an increased radius is pretty good for that over like actual melee damage, but usually you're going to take both of these if you're going for like a melee build, because our next perk is Indomitable Spirit. Now this used to be a like damage reduction on charge attack, which is just terrible because you would never ever want to use this, but now you get no knockback on gun strikes, and this is a pretty goated perk. This is a perk I'm probably always going to be taking, because getting knocked back in your gun strikes as a heavy in particular is terrible, because your gun strikes are usually what's like bailing you out of like the triple lictor in your mouth. So having no knockback on that, being able to get like a guaranteed shot off with your plasma pistol or your heavy bolt pistol, that's amazing. I would pretty much always take this. This is a great change from Saber. They did a good job here. What they did not do a good job on was not changing restorative capacity. Activating Iron Halo removes negative status effects. This perk is trash tier. Status effects in this game do not matter. People have soloed Carnifexes casually with like right in the middle of a giant status effect, like while fighting off like triple lictors. I even have a video of it on this channel of being like stuck in a horde where I have a negative status effect on me, and it just doesn't matter at all because it doesn't really do anything. And like the time period for a status effect in this game is so limited that it doesn't even matter in the first place. This should just be reworked. I really think every negative status effect perk should be reworked in this game, or they should have like the negative status effect removal as like a little ancillary benefit on top of another perk, kind of like what the sniper has with their contested health recovery with purification, because you get like all your contested health back and a negative status effect removed. So this is pretty good for that. Like, I mean, it can fuck you up sometimes, but like for the most part, negative status effects just do not matter in this game. So trash tier perk, this should probably be reworked. But another perk that did actually get reworked, this used to be no knockbacks on your charge attacks, but now it is an increased perfect block and perfect parry window by 25%. This is amazing. This is a must take. The main limiting factor of your heavy is having a balanced parry window, and having an increased tier parry window is just top tier. There's no two ways to put this. This is an amazing perk. This is probably the best perk in this entire tree for this class. I would go as far to say that like having an increased perfect parry window on this class is just amazing. It will stop you from dying to things like whip warriors and sword warriors significantly more. You will not get frame trapped as much. This is an amazing change, and this class is in a really good spot now with these new prestige perks. Like, I do think they should change around just this one, really, because these other perks, like, they all work together. Like, you actually have to make a choice here as like what you want to use on your class. There's some synergy here. You can take it with like enhanced force. They did a good job here. And I know I shit on Saber sometimes, and I know they're also people, so like I never know if they actually watch these videos occasionally, because like, they are employees. It's not really their fault all the time. Sometimes they are simply like slaves to their corporate overlords, and they must do what the corporation says, and balance decisions aren't always guaranteed up to one individual. They might have to have a lot of overhead. You never know. So when they make good decisions like this, it tells me that there must be at least multiple people at the company that are listening to people on forums, they're listening to people and the feedback, and they didn't have to make these changes, but they did, and I think that's a good thing. And they're listening to people on the public test server. Now hopefully they listen to people more and unnerf the Inferno pistol for whatever reason they nerf this weapon, and buff some other stuff. But for the most part, I think these new prestige perks are really good. If I had to take 4, I'd probably say I would take Auxiliary Reload, and then I would take Conviction, and then I would take Indomitable Spirit, and I would take Duelist. I think this is the best setup right now. Alternatively, you could take the increased melee damage, but you really don't need melee damage on this class unless you're going for like a little meme build, or like you're trying to build like straight into it. So I would just take those 4. Like, this is probably the best setup on this class currently. If you're using a heavy bolt rifle as well, you don't need to take strategic stance. So you just take something like this. Like, you take the Restoration, Fortitude, Overwhelming Power, and then additional supplies with consecutive execution, because equipment recharge is just OP in this game. And Power Regulator, or you can also alternatively take Obdurate Bastion. Am I saying that correctly? Iron Halo's durability increases by 20%. These two are kind of interchangeable. It really depends what you're doing. And then you can take Brute Force. And if you're playing by yourself, you can take Offensive Capability. Or if you're playing with teammates, you take Conversion Field, because this perk, Coolant Reserve, is terrible, and you're never going to take this. So overall, I would say this is a great change. I think you guys should probably try out Heavy. I think Heavy is absolutely worth prestiging now. It's probably going to be the class I'm going to prestige first. I don't know how long this will take me to prestige all these classes. Probably a bit, but maybe I'll be online for that. You never know. I might be playing with some randoms for that. Probably just be faster. But the point is, great stuff. Saber did a good job here. I hope you guys like these changes like I do. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And thanks for watching. Bye.